the Merseyside Youth International Football Festival. You're watching Brunswick Colts in the blue and white stripes against Robertsham Callies from South Africa. They're playing in the green and white, and now it's Brunswick Colts on the attack. Caught again with that, just that yard offside. Defence and attack just having exchanging a few words here.
It's quite a dangerous game the South Africans playing there. They're quite flat at the back, and a couple of minutes ago as well, they caught the opposition offside, but it's a dangerous game to play, and if you're too square, they could find themselves caught out. Like I say, with the pace of players like Stuart Clark and Tony Jensen, they're going to have to be careful with that. Make sure they're communicating with each other and they're organised.
So now to the number 2 here. Again, looked very effective earlier on, but won't be too happy with that sort of clearance. Again, nice long-range shot. These are the shots we've been saying we've seen pay off, and a few more like that, and we'll be seeing some goals.
That was a good effort. He's got a good technique there. He got over the ball well, kept it down, and just saved over the top of the crossbar.
You've joined us here for the semi-final, and I'll remind you that we've finished with our group matches. We're in the semi-final, and as in the previous match, if this should go to extra time, we will stay with you, and it will be decided on penalties, but for sure, semi-final will be decided today to see which of these teams goes forward to the finals played on Sunday. And we'll be there, Liverpool Live, with full coverage of the finals played here tomorrow at Heron Ecclesfield, the Merseyside Youth International Football Festival.
There's the goal kick. And that's dealt with well by the South African defence. They're struggling to find the men up front, South Africa, not really creating too much. And Robertsham, I would say, have had certainly the best of the early exchanges up front.
Yeah, there's been no one's really got hold of the match yet and stamped their authority on it. It's been pretty even, and that's reflected in the scoreline, which is 0-0 here in the semi-finals at the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival. Brunswick Colts and that South African team, Claude Niersen in goal for the South Africans, and we got the back four of Menzies, Deploy, Pitt and Palm.
In fact, this is a chance, is it? Not quite quick enough. It was a good effort though.
Midfield of Hyman, Steen, McGregor and Pepper. The front, Danota and Ronibau, I think it would be. So that Damota becomes Danota.
Well, certainly having a few problems with these names, but it's nice to have an amended sheet. And
we have, yeah, we've got it in block capitals as opposed to curly writing, and always difficult to read curly writing. It's or even curly writing.
And here he is.
South Africa on the attack here now, run. Just broken down a little bit. Makes not too much of a problem there for the Brunswick goalkeeper Mark Mansley there.
I think that just shows that Danota really is dangerous. It was a great run. It really was, from all the way through the midfield, but he just couldn't quite finish it straight into the keeper's hands. But he could be a danger man if they give him the space. You really have to watch that.
South Africa just beginning to develop the game a little bit more.
But I think Robertson have been the more assertive side. I think they've really let the South Africans know they're in here for a tough game early on, but they mustn't let the South Africans into this game, I think, because I think once they get their noses up and their heads up, they could cause problems.
Well, it's still 0-0 at the present moment for this semi-final. We've probably seen about maybe 20 minutes of this game gone. These clubs have played 4 or 5 matches to get to this stage in the competition.
So there's Mansley with the goal kick.
Now, earlier on we had no team sheet for South African side, and then we had 2 team sheets, and now I've got 4 team sheets. But this is an exceedingly well-written one And I can confirm it is Roberto Danota, as opposed to Demota, as we've been calling him.
And that's Demota with an M, is it?
With an N. N. Do you think that's an M? Well, I've got Denota, Demota. You say tomato, I'll say tomato.
Well, we've got several different spellings, but I think all the viewers know who he is. He's the number 10, of course. And
I think we've enjoyed the international flavour this week. Teams like AK Gush and the Norwegian team Quisalata, and here the Norwegians, or rather the South Africans, Robertsham Callies, just trying to develop something there. Very, very even game at the present moment. Not quite the goal fest that the last game gave us, but as we said in that one, it will only take one goal to open the game up. And let's hope we see it soon.
of course, there's one thing you can't guarantee here on live TV, that we're going to see goals all the time. But we are here all the time, and we have seen some good football.
We've seen some good football, and there's about 8 to 9 minutes left of this first half. You know, we've been bringing you live coverage of all the main matches, the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival. And if you've been watching some of the games on TV and you'd like to have a record of that, well, then you can get it simply by calling us on 0151 476 1818, and you tell us the match that you saw that you'd like a package of, and it will be available at a very, very reasonable cost.
I think it's good always for the players to have a look at themselves on television as well. You can really
Well, for some of these teams, there'll be some things that they don't want to see again. I think in that last match, a couple of the goalkeeping errors will be replayed by the managers to haunt those two keepers. Not coming so much here. Attack trying to be built up by Brunswick. Now, if Eddie was here, he'd be telling you that there's a Rottweiler in that garden. If you have been enjoying our coverage all week and you've just joined us and you are missing the dulcet tones of Eddie Tutty, I'll just remind you he's winging his way up to the northeast to be part of Liverpool's sister station in Newcastle for live TV, Newcastle Live. Live TV providing the best coverage of local sport, news and features throughout Great Britain. And you're watching Liverpool's version of live TV, Live 18, providing you with the very best coverage of the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival.
Again, you can see the bounce there, Jerry. Really fooled the keeper. Bouncing high over the top of him. You can see they're going to have more of those funny bounces throughout the game, I think. South Africa with a goal kick.
Those two little boys we were talking about before just getting dragged away by the mum there, I can see. Dragging them away from our stand.
Certainly seem to be having a bit of fun anyway. It's a good atmosphere down here, like we said. Lots of people have turned up, and we're at Heron Eccles. Anyone who fancies coming down and watching the football, certainly been a real treat this week, hasn't it, Jerry? And with the weather as well. We're certainly hot sitting up here in the gantry.
It's quite surprising that the under-15s match has not attracted quite as big a crowd as the under-11s. There's about 5 or 6 matches being played all over Heron Eccles today, and we're bringing you the main match.
I think the word got round of the goal fest that we had, I think.
Brunswick on the attack here now. Again, things being developed quite slowly here. Not too much of the kick and rush. This match really needs a goal, just as a spark, just to get teams to take a few more chances. Warren McGregor again, that big number 8 for Robertsham Callies. Flicking the ball on. Oh. Free kick there to Brunswick Colts.
I think the Colts have got to use guys like Stuart Clark out here, playing number 9. He's a strong player and he's got pace. I think they need to get the ball to him if they're going to really have any effect on this defence.
He's just wrecking through there. As we head towards the last 5 minutes of the match, without whatever referee Mr. O'Neill decides to add on 4 stoppages, and what's needed is a goal to take into half-time. If we could just see a little bit more adventure here. I'd like to see Brunswick Colts doing what they were doing earlier on. It's just testing that keeper from long range. The attack's not getting much further than the back 4. Haven't seen too much goal mouth incident here. Throwing to Brunswick. Robertsham Callies just trying to break out of defence.
There's a player down injured over there on the near side. He's getting a bit of attention from the physio.
It's obviously just caused a little knock in the face. The magic sponge, which are 99 pence from all good do-it-yourselves. Those magic sponges. You can wash the car with them as well, you know, after you've cleaned up your players with them.
But it certainly seems to have worked for John Jones, because he's back on his feet. Standing there with the referee.
It's a pretty smart kit that Robertsham Callies are sporting there. Drop ball. Neither team really putting the other under pressure. A lot of their play in the midfield, breaking down, as I said before, at that back 4. Been not much in the way of incidents, not too many shots on goal.
I think it's really been the final ball and in the last third of the field where we haven't seen the action we've been looking for. I always say that'll come, hopefully, in the end of this first half or the second half.
Brunswick Colts there. Still not offside. Excellent play.
Oh, that was close. Extremely close there, Joe.
Excellent shot there, and great reaction save from the keeper. I thought that was heading for the corner of the net there. Just see that again. Screams in. And there's the shot. Back live here. There's a corner, and there's a goal. As we watch one failed attempt. Just a near post ball there. We just watched that one again. He came back just in time to see Brunswick Colts go 1 up. A short corner there to the near post. Found Robertsham Callies in disarray. And we just see that one coming in again. Ball comes in. And here it was in the back of the net. Caught Robertsham Callies unaware, and possibly our gallery. So the score, Brunswick Colts 1, Robertsham Callies 0 in this semi-final here at Harron Ecclesfield in the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival. Difficult to tell who was the scorer there, Rob.
Certainly was. I've got a feeling it was number 11. Is it Peter McNulty? But I'm not sure. Waiting for confirmation on that one. But I'm hoping that will ignite the game now, and we can see South Africans really come at Robertsham, and we could see a real feast of football now in the rest of this game. But I think that's what the game needed, a goal. Good corner as well, attacking the near post.
I'm sure we catch that corner again shortly.
That's a good skill by John Jones.
And again, Brunswick on the attack. As I say, that's what was needed. We're probably in the last 2 minutes or so of the match, and what a way to go in. And as you've already seen, the goals open the game up. People have got to take that little bit more of a chance. Brunswick will be very happy to go in a half-time 1 ahead. Game was pretty even. Brunswick had just started to build up a few more attacks and had that little bit more of the game, and probably deserved to go in with that just 1-goal lead.
Yeah, I certainly think they're good value for their lead. Not a lot between the sides, but you've got to take your chances, and they did just that at the corner. And like you said earlier, a lot of goals come from set pieces throughout this tournament.
Yeah, the teams tend to cancel each other out, especially at the smaller end of the little league. The boys haven't quite got the legs to dribble through defences, and they're quite en masse. And here, there's not really the space for these guys. So on both edges of the development there, we see goals coming from set pieces, and there's an opportunity for Robertsham Callies with their corner. Let's see what Brunswick Colts can do to defend this. Players on each post. Comes in again, just too far. He's putting those balls too high. It's Brunswick in possession, and there's the referee blows for half-time. Well, we'll just see if we can maybe get that goal up on our screens again from that corner. I think it was taken very quickly, really, and Robertsham Callies just hadn't got themselves sorted out on that near post. Probably expecting the big ball to come up in the centre, and they were just caught napping a little bit.
Be interesting to see if they had a man on the near post there as well. Because set pieces, obviously, good idea to have a man on there, especially if your forwards are attacking the near post.
Yeah, the difference we've seen in the quality teams in this tournament are those who are well organised. We've seen some teams with very, very good, skillful players, but the teams, we talked about this earlier on in the week, the teams who can keep the shape, keep that back four, move them out, play the offside trap, marshal the defences for set pieces. You can't afford to let yourself go down this early. And I think Brunswick will now just be working on adding to that one, as we've seen before. There's no point in trying to defend it. The matches is very, very open, and Robertsham Callies got to try and a way through. We'll be back with full coverage of the second half here live on Liverpool Live, Channel 18, after this break.
Merseyside International Youth Football Festival.
Buying a used car on finance, you need to make sure of two things. Firstly, that you're getting the best deal available. At Speak Hall Vauxhall, we'll give you full value for your current car, and our specialist finance department will make sure you get the best possible car to suit your budget. Secondly, you need to make sure that the car's reliable. At Speak Hall Vauxhall, it's not a worry because it's Network Q. Don't buy a used car on finance without a visit to Speak Hall Vauxhall, where finance is affordable and used cars are reliable.
Would you like to join the internet revolution? Fancy a new career in website design? Then the Webmaster Home Study course is for you. In just 6 weeks of part-time study, this step-by-step course can be completed in the comfort of your own home and gain you a nationally recognized qualification. You don't have to be a computer genius. Anyone can learn. Call 0151 475 2898 to find out more about the brighter future Webmaster can offer you. That's 0151 475 2898.
Childhood should be a time of wonder, but for many children worldwide, it is a time of hardship, hunger, and sickness.
What a wonderful...
You can change that. By sponsoring a child through Plan International, you give a future to them, their family, and community, and it costs the equivalent of just 40 pence a day. That money builds schools and clinics and provides clean, safe drinking water. In return, you'll receive regular letters from your sponsored child. These children are desperate for your help. So call Plan now on 0800 440 770. Please give a child a future today.
Merseyside International Youth Football Festival.
Welcome back to Heron Ecclesfields for the second half of the semi-final here in the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival. You're watching full commentary and full coverage live of the second half between Brunswick Colts and Robertsham Callies from South Africa. I just remind you that Brunswick Colts are leading 1-0. Your commentators for this second half, me, Jerry Rich, and Rob Heron.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. I think not quite the first half we were looking for, but I'd like to see the South Africans come at Brunswick in the second half. I think they really need to make this game what the spectators would like to see. They haven't quite fulfilled.
Well, there's the kickoff, and I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Brunswick attacking using that 1-goal cushion that they've got. They can afford to come out, throw everything at Robertsham Callies. I think that's what we're going to see. Try and develop that into a bigger lead. And these boys are anxious to join the under-11s in the finals. The under-11s for Brunswick, you see before, already through to tomorrow's final. And the Brunswick Colts, they'll be looking to join them.
Again, seeing a bit of skill there from Donato. I think he's been playing a bit too deep at times for South Africans, but getting forward, he's always a threat. And I do think they need to feed him if they're going to have any joy up front. Here he is again.
Brunswick now attacking the goal to the left. There's Robertsham Callies now. Just being put under a little bit of pressure, which is what you got to see. Brunswick Colts, just good opportunity from the throw-in right inside the South Africans' half, and that was
just
unlucky not to end up in our commentary position there. Obviously, he's heard our comments and didn't like them.
I think, Jerry, as well, the size of the pitch, we talked about it earlier, but I think that's part of the problem for these lads. It is quite cramped out there, and we're not seeing the space that the players really want. It's difficult for the players really to find any space at all on there.
Aye, but I do have to say, Rob, it's the same size for both teams. You know that, don't you?
Indeed it is.
It's like a little northeastern person had taken me over there. Oh, and touch of the Asperillas there.
It is. We'll be glad to see that one get away. Doesn't always make great football though, but we're seeing signs of it here, and that was a bit more exciting.
I think it's the right thing to do, keep putting the keeper under pressure, and sooner or later he's going to make a mistake. Those are long balls. Challenge him when that big ball comes across there. You got to put the challenge on. And if you have just joined us, you're very welcome to Liverpool Live's coverage of the Merseyside International Youth Football Festival. Free kick to Brunswick boys, just floated over there. No one got on the end of it, but this is what Brunswick need to keep doing, putting the pressure on. They've got that 1-goal cushion, and they need to develop that. Robertsham Callies got it all to do, building the attack up here now. Not finding any way through from Brunswick, and the attack breaks down yet again. Bit of frustration creeping into the South African side here. They're not able to find the way through. Haven't had too many testing shots on target. Still trying to battle their way through.
It's difficult to see a way through for them, really, at times.
And again, hit high into the air, just towards our commentary box. Robertsham Callies seem to enjoy putting the ball over here.
Certainly is.
And they're not going to get any goals doing that. And goals are what they need, because as we stand, Brunswick Colts are leading the game 1-0. Goal coming from that corner earlier, and that's the way to do it. Not on target there, but the only way through at the present moment seems to be the long ball.
Again, it was Stuart Clark. Good technique, he got right over the ball. Unlucky not to hit the target.
Robertsham Callies trailing 1-0 as they try and build up an attack. It's Brunswick Colts in the blue and white stripes playing towards the goal on the right, trying to build up an attack here.
And I think this is where it's cramped for space, down in these corners. This is where they're going to struggle, really, to get a ball across.
Brunswick defending well here. The noise you can hear is for the game that's going on behind ours. Again, I'd say Kate Gush. Can't quite recognise the team that they're playing, but you can bet there's plenty of goals in that. Only the one here in the semi-final between Brunswick Colts and Robertsham Callies, and it's 1-0 for Brunswick Colts, and we're in the second half of this semi-final, and should it be all even at the end of this half, it'll go to extra time, and you can be sure that we will stay with the action here on Liverpool Live.
I certainly think Brunswick looking organised as a side.
A little bit of a chance there for Brunswick, but not enough men up.